Hello, BookTube. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I have an announcement. Now, some of you may recall that several months ago, I started a Goodreads group called Lizzie Faye's Comfy Corner, and we first used that group to facilitate a little readathon that Sarah and I started called Amish in April, and then once that was over, I started a few threads, and I told the members that about all the different comfort reads slash women's fiction slash inspirational fiction, things like that, that I wanted to read. And I also started a thread for series and authors that I have read and enjoyed that I'm not necessarily reading right this minute, but I wanted to start a place where I could initiate conversations about books that make me feel good and books that are comforting to read, and also that can include family drama, things of that nature. So now I am coming to you today to announce some read-alongs. I am going to start some read-alongs for the fall and winter of a few different series and also one standalone. Now I am doing this based on the feedback that I got initially from some of the members. Some of the members indicated what books or series that they were most interested in, and there was a clear favorite for the main read-along that I'm going to announce today. And then there are a couple of others that got a mention or two, and I'm definitely interested in reading them. So I'm going to go ahead and set up threads for all of these. And then any of you who want to join in and read these with me, then that will be awesome. Even if only one of you does, then that'll just be a traditional buddy read. But if, two or three or 20 or 1,000 want to join in, then that will be awesome too. Now, it would be kind of hard for 1,000 people to do a read along when there's only 100 and something in the group, but maybe we'll grow. Maybe people will see this and join in. So I want to invite you to join the Goodreads group if you have not already. It is Lizzie Faye's Comfy Corner, and I will, of course, put a link below. And also at the end of this video, I will talk a little bit about what's going on in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group. I am one of the moderators for that group, and there are some read-alongs going on there as well. So let's get started. Now, the clear winner, if you want to call it a winner, the favored choice that was mentioned by several people of the series that I mentioned that I was planning to read this year or interested in reading this year was the Cherry Cola Book Club by Ashton Lee. Now, I have already read or listened to this first book on audio. It's on Hoopla, and I am going to listen to it again. None of these books are very long. I want to say that they average about 200, less than 250 pages, maybe just, I think just a little over 200 pages for the majority of them. As far as I know, this is the only book that's even on audio. There are 6 books in the series, and I think it would be fun to just go ahead and read through the series. So we're going to start with this first book. Let's see now. Yes, if we read this book by the end of September, the Cherry Cola Book Club, then for October, we can read the second book, which is not that one. I've got the turn around here. The second book is called The Reading Circle. So that will be for October. And then for November, we have The Wedding Circle. This particular copy is a large print, but that's what my library had. Now, the large print copies are about 300 pages, so just to give you an idea. And then the fourth book, just in time for Christmas. So for December, we will read A Cherry Cola Christmas. Then in January, we'll read book 5, which is called Queen of the Cookbooks. And then in February, we'll read the last one, which is Book Club Babies. And I don't have either of those books, but, once you see the first book, you can, look it up on Goodreads and be able to see the titles. So what this is about, this first book is about a librarian. She is new to the town of Jericho, and then she she's been there now for a little while, and the library is just not getting much use. So the mayor and city council and all of the powers that be would prefer to close the library and take that land and develop it into something that would be a more of a moneymaker for the town. So they have given the librarian a short amount of time to see if she can prove that the library is viable and is worth keeping and everything like that. I will tell you that this first book didn't blow me away, but I thought it was very enjoyable, and I definitely had always planned to go ahead and read the rest of the series. So since several of you who are members of my Goodreads group mentioned that you are interested in this series, I thought this would be a great series to start with. All the books are short, and there's only 6 of them, and we can easily make our way through the whole series, and it works out well that the 4th book is a Christmas book. So that is going to be our first read along for Lizzie Faye's Comfy Corner. Now, if that doesn't interest you, I am also going to post some other series, and you can feel free to join in on as many of these read-alongs as you want. Of course, I don't expect any one person to do them all, but if you want to, then I would love that. So whichever of these series you would like to join in on, you are invited. So the next series I want to talk about is the Cape Light series by Thomas Kincade and Katherine Spencer. I've been holding this book up, I don't know how many times, and saying that I was going to buddy read this with Alana from Alana Reads. She doesn't do videos much anymore, but her and I had been talking about reading this. So she has misplaced her copy, and meanwhile I found a paperback copy at one of the recent book sales that I went to, so I'm going to send her a copy. So now she'll have one, and we can get going with the business of reading this. And I mentioned to her that I might like to go ahead and open this up as a read-along, and she said that would be fine. So I want to invite any or all of you to join in. Now, the interesting thing about the Cape Light series is that the first 4 books don't appear to have any affiliation with any holiday. And the remainder of the books after that are all centered around Christmas. So I've been saying all year that if I could read the first 4 books before December, then in December I could read 1 or 2 of the Christmas books, and then every Christmas after that, read a few of the Christmas books. So that's the plan. Now, I will say, though, that myself included, and I know a lot of you probably are planning to focus only on nonfiction in November. So if you want to do only nonfiction in November, then I would say go ahead, for both of these series and, read ahead. Like maybe between now and the end of September, you get the first 2 read, and then for October, you read the next 2. That way, then you can read your nonfiction in November and then pick back up with the Christmas books in December. If that sounds like a plan to you, I think that would work. So anyway, the first book, Cape Light, it takes place in the town of Cape Light. I really don't know anything about it. I was completely drawn in by, of course, the cover and the fact that it sounds like a family drama. It sounds like it's, a small town story. All those buzzwords and boxes, it checks off all my boxes. And if you haven't seen the Bookish and Bookish Boxes and Buzzwords tag that I created based on inspiration from a few other booktubers, then be sure to check that out. That is on my channel, and I can link it down below too as well. But it's I just posted it maybe a week or 2 ago, and be sure you take a look at that. So anyway, this is one of those books that just appeals to me. I don't even know why, but I really think I'm going to love it. So the second book is called Home Safe. And here it is. And of course, they all have Thomas Kincade paintings on the cover. I'll show you like the whole cover. Isn't that beautiful? And then the third one, my copy is a large print, so don't think that it's that chunky. It's just a large print book. It's called A Gathering Place, and it's beautiful, beautiful cover. Again, I don't know anything about it. This one has maybe a church on the cover. I do think there may be some inspirational aspects to these stories, but I'm not quite certain. And then so by the end of November, I want to have read the 4th book, which is A New Leaf, so that for December, I can read books 6 and 7. Book 6 is The Christmas Angel, and book 7 is A Christmas Promise. So again, like I said, if you want to read one a month, you're going to kind of need to get on the ball because we have August. We've got the rest of August and then September, October, and November to read the first 4. And then I plan to read the next 2, which are both Christmas books, in December. Then I'll probably put the series on hold, and then next November, December, January, I will pick up with the series with the next books. There are at least 18 books in the series, and when Thomas Kincade passed away, Katherine Spencer, who was the co-writer, continued to write them and is still writing them to this day, as far as I know. So it sounds like a beautiful series, and I am really looking forward to reading them. And I've just been procrastinating all year, so I think by scheduling it and putting it up on my Goodreads group, it will, if nothing else, make me get them read. So I hope that at least a couple of you will join in. I am assuming that Alana is going to join in, and I don't know if she'll want to read them as fast. Now, by the way, if this is too fast of a pace for you, don't even worry about it. Read what you want to read, comment about what you've read, and at whatever point you want to read another book in any of these series, come on and comment about them. I am not going to delete the comments. I'm not going to delete the threads or anything like that. So 5 years from now, I anticipate that these threads will still be there, and you can come on and comment if you want to, and I will most certainly respond. So the next series, I've got one more series that I'm going to post. Actually, no, two more series that I myself am planning to read, and I don't know if anyone will read them with me. I do think that at least one person mentioned that they were interested in reading the Harmony series. I believe it was Elise Hung. So Elise, you may have noticed that I have already finished the 3rd book in the Jodi Thomas Harmony series, and I am loving it. So I don't know if I can slow down long enough for anybody to catch up, but I am going to go ahead and start some threads, or at least a thread for the series. And so if any of you want to join in, I know that Christine from Kizzy Reads, she just read the prequel. So of course I'll make a link for that. I've decided to read them in publication order. So the prequel wasn't published until after book 6 or 7. And so that's the order that I'm going to read them in. But if you want to read them in chronological order and read the prequel first, then by all means, that's totally fine. So there's no time limit on these. I'm already reading them. Let me hang on, let me get one of the books so I can show you. So here's the first book, Welcome to Harmony. I was immediately drawn into these covers when I first saw one of these books, and I just started buying them and hoping that they were good books, and I love them. I just finished the 3rd book like this morning, and I loved it. So it is about a small town in Texas called Harmony. The series starts out with a 16-year-old girl who is basically homeless, and she decides to go to Harmony and make a life for herself there. And it's just really good. It goes from there. You learn a lot about the different residents of Harmony. Some of them are quirky, some are fun, some are down to earth, some are hilarious, and I have just really been enjoying the series. They are classified romance. There is a bit of romance in them, but to me that's not really the main focus. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's 50-50. I don't know. But they're not especially steamy. They're more of a simmering sort of a level. But I just really have enjoyed these a lot. So I will start a thread for the Harmony series. And if any of you want to catch up and start with this one, they are all on the Audible romance package. So it might be worth it to get that package for a couple of months and, plow through the books, because they are all fairly short. I think the 3rd book was about 10 hours, and I sped it up to about 1.75 speed, something like that. So really good books. Okay, then the last series I want to talk about, I don't know if any of you have these or can get them. I think most libraries would probably have them. These are a set of Guidepost books called oh goodness, what are they called? Home to Heather Creek. Now my sister has read the first book, and she may have read more by now, called Before the Dawn, and she said that they're not necessarily comfort reads, that there is some, you know, some pretty heavy drama and tragedies in these books, but it is about, I believe, a group of kids who have come to live with their grandmother. I don't know what happened to their parents, but basically one of their parents was from Heather Creek, and something has happened to the parents now, so they are coming home to Heather Creek. And that's all I know, really. And that's all I need to know. I'll show you the first few books. They are beautiful books, and they pretty much follow along with the months of the year. I believe these were first introduced by Guidepost as a book a month subscription, and maybe you can even still subscribe to them a book a month. I'm not sure, but I believe this first book takes place in August, because the next book is called Sweet September. So my goal is to get both of these read in September. I don't think I'll get started before September. Then the next book I will read in October, Circle of Grace. And then this goes right along with Thanksgiving, Homespun Harvest. Isn't that beautiful? And then, of course, we've got a Christmas book called Patchwork Christmas. So pretty. And then I have about 20 of these books. So if I'm enjoying them, I want to go ahead and keep going. I want to keep reading one a month. Now, I will tell you that we only have to read 11 books in 2019 to get to the Christmas book. Like, the Christmas book is the 11th month. So somewhere we'll have a catch-up month, or a month that we'll skip. And I will probably skip May, because I usually read only middle grade books in May. So for January, we have Abundance of Blessings. And then the next one, Every Sunrise. The next one is The Promise of Spring. April's Hope. So that'll be for April. And then, like I said, I'll probably skip May, so I'll do this one in June, Seeds of Faith. And we'll just go from there. This will be an ongoing read-along of this series until we get to the end of it, hopefully. And they're not long. Each book is just a hair over 200 pages, or maybe around between 210 and 250, I think, or maybe 260. They're really not very long. So I don't think that they'll be... it won't be too difficult to, you know, to catch up and keep up and all of that. So I don't think any of these are on audio or anything like that. So we'll just have to read them. So are you interested in reading any of these series with me? If so, please let me know. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to have one standalone read along, and a few people mentioned this, and this is an author that I've been interested in. Francine Rivers. In fact, for Tome Topple, I read A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers, and I did that as a buddy read with Lisa from Lycan Books. So rather than go on with this series at this moment, I think I am going to read Redeeming Love. I've heard great things about this. Krista from Books and Jam says this is her favorite book, and I would like to read this for the months of September and October, and get it done before Nonfiction November and before my Christmas reads and all of that kind of stuff. Now, if you would like to read it and you need a copy, I still have I have 2 extra copies of it. I picked, I think, this one up recently at a book sale, and this one I was going to loan it to or give it to a friend from church, and I never ended up doing it. So anyway, if any of you would like to have your own copy and either of these editions look good to you, then let me know, and I will send it out. First person that comments that says they want one will get one, and and you, first person that lets me know can choose which edition you want. So let me know. So now this one is the edition that I have decided to keep. So I love that dress. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to keep that one. Okay, so I mentioned that I also wanted to run over what we're doing on the Mystery Madness Goodreads group, and I will leave a link for that below. That group was created for March Mystery Madness, and then not long after that first year, Di from Dice's 19 Hearts started hosting the Book One Cozies Club. Now, we've kind of dwindled down a little bit over the last couple of years. We started out doing 2 picks a month and then went to 1 a month. Now we're doing 1 per quarter. And the book that is the current read right now, I want to show it to you. I am just about to get started on it. We're supposed to have read this by the end of August. But I'll tell you, it's so laid back. You can go back through and look at the threads, and any of those books you want to read and comment about, Di or myself or somebody will... whoever's read the book will engage in a conversation with you about the book. So this is the current one. It is called Murder in the Mystery Suite by Ellery Adams, and it is on audio on Hoopla. Let's see if I can see who the narrator is. The narrator is Johanna Parker. And so that is what's going on currently on Mystery Madness for the Book One Cozies Club. And then the book for the next 3 months, September, October, and November, is going to be The Cat, the Quilt, and the Corpse by Leanne Sweeney. And this is the first in the Cats in Trouble mystery series. So that looks fun. This particular book has a couple of my buzzwords, cats and quilts. So I am excited about reading that one. Then we have not picked it yet, but there will probably, hopefully, be a Christmas-themed cozy mystery for December. And then I believe we'll start then next year with the quarters going January, February, March, April, May, June, and so forth like that. Now, I just a couple of months ago started some new threads on the Mystery Madness Goodreads group that coincide with my in real life mystery book club that they asked me to facilitate at our local public library. So currently right now we are reading, we're also reading a cozy mystery. Now our club kind of jumps back and forth between cozy and gritty and whatever. It can be any type of mystery. So sometimes they'll be cozy, sometimes they'll be not. So it just so happens that the one we're reading right now is Her Royal Spyness by Rhys Bowen, and this is the first book in I think by the series of the same name. I think that may be the name of the series, Her Royal Spyness. I don't know anything about it other than this girl is, I think, 34th in line for the British crown. She's penniless, and somehow she gets roped into doing some things for the queen and solving mysteries, and I don't know. It sounds really cute, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I have not started it yet. Our book club meets in person the second Thursday of every month at 2 p.m. So I want to encourage all of you to read read any of these books with us, and then if you make a comment to the thread before the meeting, then I will read your comment at our live meeting. And I'm going to try to go back and read previous comments too. So if you don't get to it until after we've already met about it, that's fine. But it would still be awesome to have some comments, at the meeting when I am talking to people. So then after that, for October, we are going to go a little more disturbing, and we're going to read A Great Deliverance by Elizabeth George. This is the first in the Inspector Lindley series. I've read this before, and I was extremely disturbed by it, but I think it's still it's a good book to read, and I think that the club is going to enjoy reading it and discussing it. Then for November, we are going to read a nonfiction, a true crime called The Midnight Assassin by Skip Hollandsworth. And I don't have it to show you, but hopefully I'll have a copy of it later on and you'll see it as I'm reading it. Then for December, we are going to do a Christmas mystery by Anne Perry. This is the first book in her Christmas Stories series, and it's called A Christmas Journey. So that's what's going on both of the Goodreads groups that I am a moderator for. I hope you will join in on any or all all of these read-alongs. So that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments below if you'll be joining in, and be sure to join either or both of the groups if you haven't already, and make some comments. I would love to chat with you over there on Goodreads. So that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.